This may become a thing of the past. What do you think about it? Hello, everyone, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. We're all about pantry preparedness because having a prepared pantry is the best insurance that money can buy. Oh, my goodness. And on Wednesday, the USDA approved the sale of chicken made from animal cells, allowing 2 companies to reportedly bring lab-grown meat to upscale U.S. restaurants in San Francisco and Washington, D.C., following increased popularity of sustainable alternatives to slaughtered meat. You know, the way that we've been doing it literally forever. Literally. So, the name of the company, Good Meat and Upside Foods. Those are the 2 California companies that sell the lab-grown meat. They received final approval from the USDA on Wednesday, months after the FDA said the products were safe to eat. God, I wonder how they came to these conclusions. Instead of the meat coming from slaughtered animals, it is grown using cells from a living animal. The products are not vegan, vegetarian, or plant-based, since they are real meat, but without the animal being slaughtered. Is that going to change the definition of vegan and vegetarian? Inquiring minds want to know. Good Meat described the approval as groundbreaking moment. A groundbreaking moment, my friends, for cultivated meat. Ugh. Okay, and Upside Foods said the world-changing moment brings our vision one giant bite closer to reality. Yeah, both companies that received approval Wednesday plan to first serve the lab-grown meat exclusively in restaurants in Washington, D.C. and San Francisco. That's good, because, okay. When a survey was done, 50% of the people polled said that they were not interested in lab-grown meat. The majority of the reason is because they thought it was weird. Like, that should be the only concern. Okay, so both companies have been working through the U.S. regulatory process for years and received FDA approval in the last 2 years. Wednesday's announcement of USDA approval was the final test before the California companies could begin serving their chicken. On top of the benefits from slaughtering fewer animals each year, some advocates also argue that cultivated meat could help slow climate change. About 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions come from industrial farming, according to the United Nations. I mean, Ireland is going to get rid of their cows, right? They're one of their 2 top industries. Additionally, the transportation needed for agriculture emits carbon dioxide and methane, which could be reduced if cultivated meat becomes more popular. Because somehow, producing the fuel necessary for the electricity for the labs that they're growing this stuff in is less harmful than farming. I just don't get it. So formerly, Upside Foods was called Memphis Meat. Yeah. Cultured meat, poultry, and seafood company. So right now the chicken is what they have approved, but they're also doing meat and seafood. And they say, our team introduced the world to cultured meat, and the evolution to Upside Foods communicates our passion and potential to make our favorite foods healthier for the planet. They were founded in 2015, and they promised consumers they could enjoy their favorite foods humanely and sustainably. They say that consumers are hungry for products that are humane, sustainable, and delicious. This has, oh my God, this quote. Okay, this has the potential to revolutionize the way people eat and is incredibly exciting. The world 20 years from now may be completely different due to Upside Foods. You think? Soylent Green? To scale up production? Because right now they can only produce, I think it was 50,000 pounds of this lab-grown meat. So they're upscaling production. They broke ground on a pilot plant in San Francisco Bay Area, the first custom built for meat cultivation. They said the new facility will produce, package, and ship cultured meat at a larger scale than any company in the industry. Yay, us. I'm going to put a bunch of links down below to the articles. The articles about this, so that if you're so inclined, you can read. But personally, I am raising my food. I am growing my food. My neighbors are growing my food. I understand that if you live in an urban area, that might be a little more challenging. The good news is, here's the good news in my mind, is that this will not be available mass quantity around the country for a couple more years. But if you're in San Francisco and Washington, you know, I'd start watching packages. Apparently, they're going to be specifically labeled. That was one of the criteria that, you know, they had to go through, is that it's going to be labeled specifically. Of course, crickets were going to be labeled specifically also, but they changed that, right? Currently, the only country in the world that allows lab-grown meat to be sold commercially is Singapore. But with the United States Department of Agriculture's most recent decision on labeling, it looks like American consumers are one step closer to seeing lab-grown meat on store shelves and in restaurants. One of the major hurdles has been determining how to label the proteins in a way that would be transparent for consumers. Kind of like crickets, right? No, yeah. After a long process that has included debate and public feedback, the USDA has ruled that the lab-grown chicken will be labeled cell cultivated. It's until they change their mind and name it something else. I have no qualms about vegans or vegetarians. You do you, boo. Seriously, you do you. And I completely understand it, because the empathy that I have for the livestock that we raise and my commitment, I mean, serious commitment to providing them the best life that they can have up until it no longer exists. When it becomes something that then they are feeding us, they are committing to our sustainability. But until that very last moment, I do everything I can to ensure that they have the best life. They're not locked up in cages. They're not locked up in barns. They get out in the sunshine. They play in the dirt. They eat bugs. They do all that stuff, plus all the extra stuff that we do for them. Who else do you know buys a basketball for their pigs to play with, right? Because happy animals give you a better quality food. The fact that they are trying to implement this as something for the environment, I call BS. Grand solar minimum, grand solar maximum, this is just what happens. This is what happens. I'm not going to go into a whole thing about either one of those, but it's just what happens. It's cyclical. It's what happens. But we're going to try to fight it because we don't like change. Human beings do not like change. This could be considered change that we don't like. I don't like it because it's that closer of a step to Soylent Green that we take every single day. Already, a mass amount of the food that is put on shelves in grocery stores is pure garbage. It is what I akin to sawdust in bread, okay? It is something to bulk up the masses. Literally, it's killing us. Literally, it's giving us diabetes. Literally, it's giving us high blood pressure. Literally, it's giving us all kinds of crazy things. And now, we're going to trust for-profit companies, mind you. Of course, truth be told, I wouldn't trust the government to do this either. But we're going to be trusting for-profit companies to make sure that we're safe. We can't even get lettuce. We cannot even get lettuce without it being contaminated. We have recalls on foods every single day because at some point or another, humans touch them. We throw out mass quantities of food every single day, but they say there's a shortage. I have issues. I have a number of issues. This is one of them. Lab-created meat, cell-cultivated. I don't care what you call it. It's wrong, in my opinion. And so I'm asking, what's your opinion? What do you think of lab-grown meat? What do you think of two companies being in charge of creating this lab-grown meat? I absolutely agree. In 20 years, we won't recognize the world that we live in today. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, this is something to be concerned about, because that is what you are. That's what we're leaving them. We are leaving them this. It's just not right. It's just unnatural. Leave your comments down below. I can't wait to hear your opinion on it. They're screaming about it too. Until next time, everybody, be safe.